Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. My name is Eva Septiawati and my student ID number is 63250073 from 632C07. Today I'm going to present my opinion about changing bad habits. I believe that we all have habits that are not good for us. And today I want to share why I think we can and should change them. In this presentation, I will talk about three main points. First, why bad habits are harmful. Second, how we can replace bad habits with good ones. And third, why paying attention and consistent is important. Okay, let's get started. Many people have bad habit in their daily life. Some people sleep too late, eat too much junk food, or spend too much on their phone. This habit can hurt our health and our future. In my opinion, we can change our bad habit if we truly want to. It's not easy, but it is possible. First of all, we need to know which habits are bad for us. Many people do not realize that their habits are harmful. For example, someone who always wakes up late may not know that it affects their study time and energy. When we understand the bad effect of our habit, we will feel more motivated to change. This is the first and most important step. Second, instead of just stopping a bad habit, it is better to replace with a good one. For example, if we always check our phone in the morning, we can try to read a book or do some exercise instead. In this way, we are not just removing the old habit, we are building a new and better one. It is easier and more effective. Third, we need to be patient and consistent. Change does not happen in one day. We may fail sometimes and it is okay. What is important is that we keep trying. If if we practice a good habit every day, it will slowly become a natural part of our life. Small step every day can lead to big change over time. Some people think that bad habits are too hard to change. They say that once a habit is formed, it is very difficult to break. I understand this point of view. However, I believe that with strong willpower and support from the people around us, we can overcome any bad habit. Nothing is impossible if we are serious about changes. In conclusion, I believe that changing bad habit is one of the best things we can do for ourselves. We need to know our bad habit, replace them with good ones, and be patient during the process. It may better hard at the first, but the result will be worth it. A better habit means a better life. That is all from me. Thank you so much for your listening and for your attention. I hope my presentation was useful for all of you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. My name is Evi Septiawati and my student ID number is 63250073. I'm from 632C07. Today, I'm going to present about grammar topic called indirect question. This topic is about how we can ask question in more polite and formal way in English. I hope my presentation today will be useful and easy to understand. What are indirect question? Indirect question are a way of asking questions that sound more polite and formal. Instead of asking directly, we put the question inside a longer sentence. For example, a direct question is, where's the bank? But if we make it indirect, we say, could you tell me where the bank is? As you can see, the meaning is the same, but indirect version sound much more polite and respectful. Now, When do we use indirect question? There are four main situations. First, informal situation. For example, when we are talking to our lecturer, our boss, or someone in a higher position. Second, when we meet a stranger and we want to ask for help or direction. Third, in customer service situation, like when we call a hotel or an office. And fourth, in written English, such in formal emails or academic reading. In all these situations, indirect question help us sound more professional and respectful. Let's talk about how to form indirect question. The formula is introductory phrase plus question word plus subject and verb. There are three important rules. Rule number one, always start your sentence with a polite introductory phrase, such as could you tell me or do you know? Rule number two, use normal word other. In direct question, the verb comes before the subject, but in direct question, the subject comes first, then the verb. Rule number three, for yes or no question, we do not use question word. Instead, we use the word if or whether. On this slide, you can see six common introductory phrases that we often use for indirect question. The most common one is could you tell me? This is suitable for most formal situations. Do you know? Is a little more casual but still polite. I was wondering is very soft and formal, often used in written English. Would you mind telling me? Is the most polite option. Can you tell me? It's more relaxed, used in everyday conversation, and I'd like to know. Is often used in formal writing. Knowing this phrase will help you speak and write more naturally in English. Now, let's look at some example. The first example, the direct question is where is the nearest ATM? The indirect version is could you tell me where the nearest ATM is? Notice that the verb is moves the to the end of the sentence. The second example, direct. What time does the library close? Indirect. Do you know what time the library closes? The third example is a yes or no question. Direct. Is the manager available? Indirect. I was wondering if the manager is available. We use if here because this is no question mark. This example shows us how a small change in structure can make a big difference in politeness. Conclude my presentation, indirect questions are very important in English communication. They help us sound more polite, more formal, and more professional. There are three things to remember. First, always use a polite introductory phrase. Second, use the correct other subject before verb. And third, use if or whether for yes or no question. I believe that if we practice indirect question regularly, our English communication skill will improve greatly. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.